Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O Mother, hold our hand, take us across from unreal to real. Take us from darkness of ignorance to the light of the wisdom, to the brightness. Take us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Jai Guru. And welcome everyone to our little Thursday session, introducing to the coming Sundays. This little sessions that we have is to introduce to us and make us understand that this life, apparently, we have got bogged down with just physicality. And all we are trying to do is take care of this little body. And this is samsara. The moment we put the name and the form and the function, you keep hearing this, and we think this is who I am. And we've forgotten that the true beauty is not out there, is within. And the beautiful and the peace and the happiness and the joy always comes from realizing from within, feeling, from not just wandering aimlessly out. Have you noticed how much effort we take and all of us do to look beautiful? How much of effort we take to look beautiful? But what effort do we take to lead a beautiful life? What effort do we take to look great, look smashing, look smart, look on the go, look cool? But what effort are we taking to create great lives around, to create greatness, that coolness? Have you realized that those and all of us do meet such great people around our life, and everybody has met, including our grandmas and things like that, and some of us are lucky, or our mothers and fathers who are very calming, or some great teachers. And the moment we go there, we find so peaceful. Apparently, all our questioning mind tend to calm down. This is in that part of the year where this is the holy month. This is the month when Jesus Christ was born as per the Christian calendar, 25th of December. The holy month has begun, and this is the holy week is going to start from this coming Sunday. You know, during this time, just short of his birth, we remember the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus Christ, when, before his crucifixion, he knew and he chose his 12, the greatest apostle, and he took them to the mount near to the hillside and gave them the choicest of his lessons. And this Sermon on the Mount was meant for what? Sermon on the Mount was Jesus' effort to create heaven on earth. And this heaven on earth is in you and me. Today, most of us think, and you will find many billboards, particularly in the Western world, heaven is a place. That means it is not here, it is up there. And dial so and so number 1-800 so that you'll have to contact with so and they will tell you for a few dollars something, some sermon, and will heaven is a place. And you will find somewhere that when you die, you will meet God in heaven. When you die, it's a time word. Heaven is a place word. And that means heaven is not here. That means this is not the time. And this is the difference between the Advaita Vedanta. And the beautiful part is this Sermon on the Mount was translated and has been put into with a Vedantic meaning by Swami Prabhavananda, who is of the Ramakrishna order, who took these beautiful meanings. There are 12 teachings of the Jesus Christ. I'm going to touch upon a few of them today. Sermon on the Mount was created by Jesus Christ for the disciple to make this earth a heaven. Advaita Vedanta is telling where it is the moment to experience just the few words of Advaita Vedanta, just the word that you hear the name Brahman, you are already the chosen one. And none of these teachings, whether it is Christianity or Jainism or Buddhism or Islam or Sikhism or Hinduism, all are one. And this is what India is famous for, Sanatana Dharma. And this is what Swami Vivekananda is talking through this book, that is making rebuilding India. When you're thinking about rebuilding India, you need to remember that India is a country of philosophy and religion. And in this religion is the religious of way of life. All lives, all religion are welcome. And there is one dharma, one way of life. Dharma is Sanatana Dharma, which accepts all religion, because ancient India, thousands of years, the rishis found out many ways to reach the ocean. From the mountain, many rivulets come down. The rain falls on the glaciers' water. They come down and down and down, but they will all reach ocean. A few of them get limited and get stuck in their samsara. The moment they create, this is me, that means they create a little puddle or a pond and stay stuck there. The same river. Some of us do that. In this, understanding the journey of Jesus Christ is bringing an opportunity through his lessons and through his way of life, is showing it to us the greatness of the humanity, the human excellence. Have you realized all life forms has a beginning and all life forms has an end on this earth? Birth to death. But did you realize that the human beings are the only one, the human children, yours and my children, they do not have to die and be limited to this death, birth and death. What does that mean? Are we going to die? Yes, you and I, our body is going to die. Our body is going to die. Look at very simple people like, let's say, Apple machine, Steve Jobs. His body is dead, but he is not dead. We fly today. Wright brothers, first aircraft flew 1903. And today, that was for 12 seconds in 17th of December. Today we fly for 12 to 15 hours and non-stop from India to Australia. So the Wright brothers are not dead. Their body is dead. They become immortal. And now you talk about Buddha, Mahavir Jain, Guru Nanak, Guru Gobind Singh, Ramana Maharshi, Rishi Vyasa. How many names? Vivekananda, Paramahansa, Vivekananda, Ramakrishna, and Yogananda, and Mahavatar Babaji, and just imagine. And this is what they have become immortal in yours and my heart. And you and I have this potential to proceed towards that. You know, the great teachers, Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ramana Maharshi, Buddha, they used to all do like this. That take the teaching like Jesus Christ took them to the mountain, a little secluded place, and taught them. I'll cover a few of them today for the paucity of time, and on Sunday we'll cover a little more of them, in which Sri Ramakrishna is to take the very famous disciples of his Swami Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Shivananda. He would take them to the room. He will open the door and he will look outside. Nobody is there. He'll close the door and teach them inside his little room in Dakshineshwar. his choicest of the teaching. Same thing Jesus Christ did, went on to the Sermon of the Mount. So it is for you and I to listen to them, reflect upon them, make it our own by Shravanam. Listen, deeply listen. Listen, not hear. Hearing is without attention is hearing. Listening is hearing with attention is listening. And then not listening to just check it out or prove it wrong. Listening to say there must be some truth in this. If this is Sermon on the Mount, Jesus must have said something. Let us reflect upon it. Sri Ramakrishna once heard the story of famous Prahlada. You know the Prahlada story, Hiranyakashipu, and whose son was Prahlada. And Prahlada, when the play was going on, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa in Calcutta theatre had gone down just to watch this spiritual film, the spiritual play. And Girish Ghosh was the one who was getting that play organized, and it was his. He had invited Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, his guru. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, looking at Prahlada's pain and suffering, he was weeping. And many people were wondering, it's just a play, why is he weeping? And some people said, do you know what? He said, Ramakrishna used to say, he who is Rama, he who is Krishna is Ramakrishna. And he showed his avatar form sometimes to some of the people. He said, he remembered the days when Prahlada suffered and he was remembering his devotee, how much pain he suffered, and he was crying, weeping for his devotee. How can such love be lost? How can such love be lost? You and I, just think, how many of us really, we cry for money, we cry for financial crisis, we cry for physical pain, we cry for headache and backache, we cry for our children, our husband, our partners, our life and our suffering and our mental agony. Who cries for God? Who cries for yearning? And this is what is the reflection that you and I need to realize, that we try to look beautiful, but not try to have a beautiful life. We try to lead a kind of a great look all around us, cool guy, but we don't try to lead a great life for other people by helping them to rise up. You know, Saint Teresa, once she woke up in her, Saint Teresa was the lady monk who would on Friday, that is the day of the crucifixion, this 24th was the day, and this, the crucifixion day, the time, her fist would have those deep wound in the forehead and the shoulders and start bleeding on its own. And it would heal on its own during the week. This Saint Teresa, she saw she was not sleeping. She woke up and she found a gloriously clad, a great personality standing in front of him and looking so great. She was about to ask, but before she could ask, this person asked Saint Teresa, who are you? So Saint Teresa says, Sister Teresa says, I am Teresa of Jesus. Who are you? And you know what the answer was? He said, I am Jesus of Teresa. How can such love ever be lost? I am Jesus of Teresa. Sufi poet is writing, Islamic poet, Sufi Muslims is writing that even when I am dead and gone, the very grass on my grave which quivers in the wind that will sweep through the cold graveyard, very grass on my grave will quiver with the love of Allah, of you. My love will make it wave and quiver and shake. The grass on my grave, because I love thee. How can such love be lost? Human beings, we remember our people in this life, and we think we cannot live without you. You're the only one. And soon enough, we drift away. Children grow up and go away. Parents die. Partners separate. And some continue to live together, but miles away, living in the same home. But Advaita Vedanta is telling you that the God is not up there. Heaven is not out there. Heaven is right now here. Aham Brahmasmi, Main hi Brahma hu. And that, when you read Swami Prabhupada, that and the Jesus Christ Sermon on the Mount, when you couple them together, you realize that you see that God, Brahman, consciousness, Chaitanya, in everything and everyone. Now just think, if you see Lord Shiva in your husband or Krishna in your husband, how can you go into become small-mindedness and fight? How can you become small-mindedness and fight if you look at Durga Mata or Mother Saraswati or Kali Mata or Lakshmi Mata in your wife? How can you? Reminds me of a little story. Lakshmi Mata came to the businessman. Diwali was coming up, and came to the businessman's dream. And listen, I have been in your life for the last 1 year. I have given you all the wealth that you need. You have 2 sons, you have 2 wives, you will soon have children, you have a great life, you got a great wife. And now I have to go to somebody else's home. Tomorrow morning I'll be going away, but before that, tomorrow night, you ask your children and wife, what do they want? I will grant them to you, and then tomorrow night I'll be leaving. So the businessman next morning gets up and asks the wife and his 2 sons and the 2 young wives of the sons, what would you like? And everybody demanded cars and diamonds and kingdom and the cities and property and gold and money. And he said, okay, I will tell Mother Lakshmi. And then suddenly remembered he forgotten to ask his youngest son's wife. So he goes and says, and my dear little daughter, what would you like? She said, please tell Mother Lakshmi, all I want is Shanti in this home. And when in the night, similarly the dream, Mother Lakshmi came again, and the businessman give a big list of wives' demands, his own demand, and the eldest son, and the eldest son's wife, and the youngest son's demands. And then Mother Lakshmi said, Tathastu, Tathastu, meaning, so shall it be, so shall it be. And the youngest wives, the moment the businessman said, she said, Mother, she wants Shanti in this place. Now Mother Lakshmi said, please ask her to ask anything but that. He said, Mother, she is a very stubborn young girl. She will not do anything other than Shanti. She said, you know what does that mean? I cannot go away from this house. Meaning Mother Lakshmi is that Shanti. It's not just money, and automatically will come Samriddhi and Shanti. Now, that Shanti is within you and within your partner, within your children, with your family, when you see everyone with that consciousness. And this is what Jesus Christ is going ahead and showing it through. How do we get that love? How do we get that love? In the Sermon on the Mount, I will just talk about Jesus took to the closest, and you know what the church says? Hanscom. Hanscom was a great Christian theologian, and he was the teacher of the last Pope. And he said that the purpose of these teachings of the Jesus Christ, of Sermon on the Mount, meant for only chosen few monks. And it is for only those who are going to become apostle, a senior monk, going to give up their life for the Jesus. But you know what Tolstoy said? It is meant for everyone and to bring heaven on this earth. So, for what is the Jesus is teaching in the Sermon on the Mount? For seeing God in this life alone. So the jewel in the crown, I will just cover one in which, and he said, first one, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. If you're pure in heart, you will see God in your life. Many people say, why sit down for meditation? For 30 years I'm doing it, all this nama, japa, everything, I fast, but my mind is always wandering. How do I know that I'm pure in my heart? And Swami Prabhupada is answering in this. He said, if you sit down and say for 2 minutes, I will keep my mind only on God. And if during this 2 minutes, if your mind wanders off from the God's name and comes in another suffering of the body or some worries or the memory or some emotion or anxiety or impurity of the heart and thinking about some food or some party or some drink, no, your heart is impure. So purity in heart will automatically get you like Prahlada. Come whatever may. His heart was stuck and pure. And Father Hiranyakashipu tried to do anything to kill him, but nothing. I wouldn't like to go over through this. Now, those who have cultivated this inner purity, they will always have the thought of God effortlessly. And you know what? One of the monk in Himalaya, he was sitting as the guru, and the guy businessman comes from Delhi and said, "Sir, please give me samadhi. I've come from all the way from Delhi. I want to spend here for 7 days with you. Give me experience of samadhi." And the monk, the Gurudev said in Hindi, "हम 2 मिनट में आपको समाधि में लगा देंगे, लेकिन पहले दिल साफ करके लेकर आओ." First come with the purity in your heart. Purify your heart. And then I'll give you samadhi in just 2 minutes. One person asked the Guru, Guru, I want to see God. I want to see God. When will I see God? When will I see God? I've been 30 days with you in this ashrama, serving you. So Guru says, okay, come with me. Let's go and take a dip in the river Ganga. And they go to the river Ganga, and they do Surya Namaskar. They're doing dipping down and 7 down. And Gurudev, in one of the dip, he caught hold of the devotee's disciple's head and pushed it down under the water. And first few seconds, the disciple was surprised and he stayed quiet, and then he started to struggle to come up. He wanted to breathe, but Gurudev won't let him come up. And he was busting to wanting to breathe, and he was struggling, and Gurudev won't let him come. Eventually, he let him come. And as he came out, he did like that. Gurudev asked him, how does it feel? He said, I felt I'm going to die. Gurudev said, when you feel like that for God, you will see God. Do you get the message? Sermon on the Mount is to make this earth a heaven, make your life a heaven. You don't have to run up to the Himalayas and the mountain caves and sit down and meditate and take God's name. And this is what Vivekananda's words. He said, those who run up to the mountain caves and think they will meditate and take God's name and die taking God's name, they have missed the boat. Vivekananda's word. They have missed the boat. And those who plunge in headlong in the samsara, in the vanities of life, and live that life, they too have missed the boat. So then what is the way? Going off to become a monk and go to the mountain is not, and neither is the way by staying in the samsara. Then which is the way? Vivekananda says, divinize your life, which is Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta, only one. One alone exists. Ekam Sat Bahuda Vidanti. People call it by many names. Jal, Pani, Tanni, water in English, you in French, washer in German, up in Sanskrit, up in Persian. All mean only water. Reflect upon it. We will see you on Sunday. Come with some good questions. Jai Guru.